Wonderful good morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unplugged EV Australia. In today's episode I will answer all your questions you have sent through via comments on my YouTube videos, Facebook Messenger, via email. I will answer them all today. So thank you very much to everyone who has sent through questions. It probably will take me the whole day to answer all these questions. Okay, but let's get started. So, and now get your favorite drink, your favorite food. Take off all your clothes or whatever you do when you watch my videos, and let's do it. So Matt from California has sent me an email with questions, actually 3 questions. Thank you, Matt. We actually had a little private discussion via email back and forward because he's still unsure if he should buy the Outlander PHEV or not. His first question is, do you think that your vehicle might be an unlucky outlier, not just an Outlander? Or do you think all Outlanders at some point will have this problem? This is in regards to the battery degradation issue, of course. At the beginning I thought it's only my vehicle, of course. When I found out last year I thought that's weird, and I looked in through forums and couldn't really find anyone else posting any problems with battery degradation and loss of capacity while parking and stuff like this, you know. I couldn't make sense out of it why this is all happening, and I started making this channel then. But now, almost 1 year later, so many people have come forward and shared their experience and their stories with us. Not even in Facebook forum, in the on YouTube, and they sent me so many personal messages now via email. I am pretty sure, and I think I've got support from others as well for that. I am pretty sure this is not just a problem with this specific car. It actually occurs to many vehicles out there, if not all. See, most of the PHEVs, they are on a declining in terms of battery degradation, in terms of battery capacity. Some of them have the luck, or they are showing pictures with their state of health rising. And I personally think both of these trends we see are wrong. The capacity should not go down in this rate we are seeing it right now with vehicles, and it should not go up. Clearly everyone agrees to that. The battery capacity is not gonna improve over time, and kilometers or miles, whatever you put on your your car, the battery is not getting better over time. So the increased numbers these vehicles show are clearly not correct either. And we have seen quite a few owners of 2018 models now coming forward and saying, yep, my car has driven only 3,000 miles, and I can already see a battery degradation of 2 or 3% happening through the dog. So I'm very convinced my Outlander PHEV is not an outlier PHEV. It is happening to all of us with the current algorithm, with the current software version we have in our cars. And his second question is, did you ever figure out what causes your battery degradation issue? I think I've answered this in the first question already. I personally think it's not the battery itself, it is the software. The software algorithm is not capable of... The software is not able to calculate the true state of health and the true state of charge of the battery correctly, and is very pessimistic and conservative with its assumptions and guesses. So that's why I think the battery capacity goes down. What the dog shows us, and after a while you can also feel the EV range, the pure EV range, goes down. And his third question is, would you buy your PHEV again if they all have the same issue? Well, I probably would not buy the car again if I know about the issues with the battery or with the software. I would probably not buy this car again, no. Okay, so for the next question I have to go in the boot of the car. The next question is from Andrew. He is asking, I noticed when you charge at the club, you plug into a unit that would measure kilowatt. Is there a 15 amp unit available like that? I have never measured how many kilowatt it takes to recharge my car, but would like to. Okay, that's a great question, Andrew. I have this device actually here, because I just used it here at the club. And this is just a normal energy meter you can buy at retailers here in Australia for about $20. This one is from eBay for about $15, including shipping. And as you can see on the print over here, it has a 10 amp 250 volt socket on both sides. This is the plug, 10 amp 250, and the socket 10 amp 250, and the rating for it is only 10 amps. Operation current max 10 amps. Here in Australia we have two different standards for the plugs. And as you can see, the black one is the 15 amp plug, and the other one here is the 10 amp plug. And the earth contact is a lot smaller on the 10 amp plug, and only the smaller one fits into the meter. You will never be able to get this large earth contact into this power meter here. And the Amphibian Mini 15 amp to 10 amp plug comes with a 15 amp socket, and you can easily fit the larger 15 amp into this side and plug the 10 amp side into the power meter, into your wall socket, and you can measure the energy going into your EVSE into the car. But you have to spend an additional $80 on the Amphibian Mini. And Robert has sent me an email as well, not with a question but with a statement, and he actually made me aware of the changing warranty statements from Mitsubishi Australia. So this is for everyone in Australia. The current warranty on the battery and drivetrain is 5 years and 100,000 kilometers, and this will change from the 2019 model onwards. And they have extended the warranty on the battery and drivetrain from 5 years to 8 years now and 160,000 kilometers. I'll link this document below. You can read through it. I'm actually very surprised Mitsubishi is doing that. It aligns the whole warranty situation here in Australia with other countries. Like I know in Canada it's about 10 years of warranty on it, and we had only 5 years on the battery. But still, it amazes me how much confidence Mitsubishi has in terms of these batteries and drivetrains, and how bad they actually work in real life. I mean, I'm not saying the battery is working bad, but the software. So I keep all my fingers and toes crossed that they will use a different battery and a different battery management system in the 2019 model here in Australia and everywhere else where it comes out. Let's see. Thank you very much, Robert, for this information. I was not aware of that. No, thanks. And Diamond Killer left a message on the YouTube video Q99 saying, "Hi Andy, I'm new. Would appreciate if you can explain charge mode and safe mode in a short video." Well, Diamond Killer, I'm very happy to do a short video about this. Very quickly to summarize it, if you press the charge mode, the engine will turn on and will recharge the battery to about 85–90% state of charge. It will constantly run if you stop on the traffic light, if you drive in city traffic, if you drive motorways. The engine will constantly be on and recharge the battery until it's full, 85% around. The save button on the other hand, so it basically reads the current state of charge. For example, you are at 45% and you press the save button, it will hold this 45% until you disengage the save button again. But I'm happy to do a video for you, and for everyone else, stay tuned. And Ramos sent me a question via YouTube asking, "Andy, I have a question for you. With everything you know about the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, if you had to buy a new car, would you buy the new model? Thank you, a hug from Spain." Thanks, Ramos. Well, the new model comes with a larger engine and a larger battery. I would have rather seen a smaller engine and a much larger battery to actually give the PHEV a more EV touch as it has right now. I've got the suspicion, I've got the really bad suspicion that we will see the same degradation of battery again in the new model. I hope I'm totally wrong and they will have put in different batteries, different battery management system, and they hopefully resolve the problem with a fast degrading battery. And also, I'm not a big fan of this Atkinson cycle engine actually. I've spoken to a friend who is a mechanic and he said, well, the Atkinson cycle engine might be more efficient than a normal gas engine, but you always have a lot more moving parts, so a lot more can go wrong with it, which can then lead to more maintenance and higher costs. So I've got really mixed feelings about it. And then the outside of the car, the look and the design, they have not changed at all. It still looks the same as the 2018 model from the outside. I personally would have expected a more futuristic design, a little bit more into the modern. So I'm not sure. I mean, if I'm in for buying a new Outlander PHEV, I would definitely wait for the new one. With the battery management system software and the issues we see at the moment, it can only get better. But time will tell us when the first 2019 models come to the market and people hook up their dogs, what actually will happen, what kind of degradation do we see, what kind of range do we see. I'm not convinced. It's not really a big step forward for Mitsubishi in terms of the Outlander PHEV. I would probably hesitate to buy a new one. But thanks for the great question, Ramos. Muchas gracias, Ramos, and all the best to Spain. And we've got another question via YouTube from Shimul. Hi Andy, what are your thoughts about combustion engines versus pure electric versus hybrids? And how do you think electric, hybrid or pure cars are in 5 years? Greetings from Norway. Okay, so in 5 years time, I think we will see the beginning of true self-driving cars. Yes, I think it will take another 5 years until we see really good progress and level 4 and level 5 self-driving, reliable self-driving level 4 and level 5 autonomous cars and vehicles. The future of electric cars will be totally different in cities and out of the cities, in these rural areas where I live here, more in the countryside. In cities, due to the problem with pollution and the lack of space, I think we will see a lot of transport as a service models coming up over there. So people don't own a car anymore. They just have an app on their mobile phone. The app knows when to pick up this person, where to pick them up, where they want to go. And this will free up space, which is at the moment needed for parking, for roads, and also push down prices. Because 94% of the time the car will sit in a car park somewhere anyway and not doing anything. And I think this shift will start in about 5 years' time. We will see less cars on the road, more self-driving Uber kind of services. And then we have here the countryside where people are reliant on their cars because they have got fairly large distances to travel every day to commute. I can't see the benefit of these transport as a service models here in the countryside, but I think we will see a lot more electrified vehicles. If they are fully electric, we have to wait for the new battery technology, maybe when solid state batteries come to the market in a few years' time. Maybe this will be a big breakthrough for all electric vehicles. But still here in rural areas, people are driving their cars themselves. They've got trailers to tow as myself, they've got pickups, they've got utility vehicles. They all could have some kind of electrification. I think we will start with plug-in hybrid cars like the PHEV. This is always a good start for people if they are not sure if electric vehicles are right for them, because it combines both worlds. You are not reliant, you don't have the range anxiety, you always have a backup with a gas engine and can do longer trips. You still have the charging experience with these cars. You still drive in electric mode and you still can feel the awesomeness driving electric. But this is only my opinion for the area I live in. This will be totally different in countries. Like where you come from in Norway, totally different thing. In 5 years time, I think you are very close to 100% of new vehicles will be electrified. Europe in general, the gas engine is going to die out in passenger cars. Diesel engines won't be around in 5 years time in Europe anymore. I think they are starting now to ban diesel cars from cities. In 5 years time, Australia will still lag behind the world in this technology, in transport, in electrification, in renewable energies, unfortunately. Look, while Norway has an over 50% rate of electrification for new vehicles now, we in Australia, we have still less than 0.1% of all new vehicles are electric or electrified. Michael asks, "Hey Andy, love your work." Thanks, Michael. I have a caravan around 1,300 kilos. That's that in pounds. I've seen mixed reports with the Outlander. I would love one, as 90% of my trips would be EV only. Have you towed much weight yourself, or know about turtle mode? I've also heard the best way to tow is battery safe mode when the state of charge gets to around 60%. But surely this would have the eyes screaming. Love to hear your thoughts. Yes, when I looked online 3.5 years ago and I found the Outlander PHEV on an internet forum, there was a dealer advertising. And luckily the Outlander PHEV had a tow bar already fitted. The original Mitsubishi tow bar, 1,500 kilograms of towing capacity. So everything was set up for my 8x5 foot box trailer. And Michael, as you have maybe seen in my videos already, I'm frequently picking up hay from a farm not far away from here. And occasionally I go to the landscape and pick up. Just recently I was there and picked up 750 kilos of gravel. Plus the 260 kilos of the trailer was over 1 ton to tow for the PHEV. And I can tell you, you can feel the weight at the back. I still drove in eco mode and I was trying to avoid the ICE engine from kicking in. Sorry, I haven't done this video yet. It was just recently. It will come in a future video. So now I must say, towing with the PHEV is totally fine. I totally like it. I'm always happy when I have something to tow with my PHEV. If I have to pick up hay or gravel or firewood from the neighbor, I'm always looking forward to put the trailer on my PHEV and drive off in pure electric mode. But you're right, if you do longer trips with a trailer, you should probably drive down the battery to about 60-70% and then use the safe mode. That being said, I would only do this on a highway. If you are in town or something, I would probably just drive in electric mode as far as possible. So make sure before you come into town with your trailer that the battery capacity is as high as possible. And you are right, the engine would scream because you're pushing the accelerator fairly far and the engine would exactly deliver this amount of energy you currently use. I have done this once. I drove with the trailer and the PHEV to Brisbane and helped my sons to move houses. That was fairly at the beginning when I had the PHEV new, so I didn't know too much about safe and charge mode. And of course, when I hit the city, I ran out of juice. And the engine was screaming and revving. I should have pressed the charge or save button early enough to save all my battery capacity for city driving. Now, Michael, I can't see any problem with the PHEV towing 1.3 tons. That should be totally fine. Okay, Michael, thank you very much for your question. I was just editing all my answers and realized I haven't talked about turtle mode. Yeah, we used to do a lot of scuba diving back in the day in Germany. So if you want to know more, watch the other channel. Scuba diving and turtles, exactly. That's where we were. So the turtle mode transforms the car into a turtle. Turtles are generally very slow on land, so will be the PHEV when the turtle is on the dashboard. It means usually you have about 15 to 17% state of charge in the battery and the performance is limited. I had this only once a couple of years ago. That was long time before we had the dog actually. The battery was empty as far as I can remember when I visited the customer. On my way back I needed to go up a steep hill, about 1.5 kilometers uphill section. It was a 100 kilometer zone. There was no blue bar anymore. It had 3 dashes on the GOM. So the car was driving in parallel mode. Engine and electric motors were propelling the car up the hill. So all of a sudden you could feel the hesitation of the car, want to go further. Then I realized this little orange turtle in the dashboard, which I never had before, and I never heard of it before. So I didn't know what it is at this point of time. And the car was really slow, and I pushed the accelerator all the way through and nothing happened basically. I said, oh god, that's it. Car is totally f***ed. And you should always try to avoid this mode. Especially when you tow a big load, you don't want to see the turtle on the dashboard. So make sure if you tow a big load like a caravan trailer up a hill, make sure the state of charge is, I would say, above 50%. And the next question comes from Jay from Scotland, Aberdeen. Hi Andy, great YouTube channel. Love the content and depth you discuss the PHEV in. Could you run through the Watchdog app and what I should be looking out for, please? What should I monitor for the longevity of my Outlander? Thanks, Jay from Scotland, Aberdeen. I will do some more battery videos in the very near future because we have to talk about maintaining your battery. And I certainly can do also some videos about the PHEV Watchdog and explain what all the numbers and figures are and what you should look for. I just cannot do it now in the FAQ responses. The pump. Every time I'm recording, the pump is kicking in. I don't know why. That's a Murphy thing, isn't it? We have to wait. Still running. Just very quickly some tips. In the PHEV Watchdog, click on these 3 dots over here and go to the battery condition. I would really recommend monitoring your battery conditions, and you can see my health is going down all the time. It is very, very important to keep an eye on this health here, because this is your maximum capacity you can actually use in the battery. And of course some general advice in regards to the batteries. I would not recommend to leave the car plugged in for too long. If you plug it in the evening and leave it until the next morning, that is totally fine, there's no problem. But I would not recommend to leave the car plugged in over days. The really high state of charge from 95 to 100% is not good for the battery. And the other thing you should keep an eye on is the depth of discharge. You should actually recharge the car as often as possible. Don't wait until the battery is empty. Recharge at 50, 60, 70% whenever you come home from a small trip. Plug it in and recharge. I will do more videos about the PHEV Watchdog in the future. They're coming soon. And I also will talk about battery health. So thank you, Jay. Great question. And the next question comes from Carl David via Google+. Wow. He's asking, is there a way to lock the PHEV in eco mode from startup? Perhaps reprogramming it through the CAN bus or something at the service place? As I understand it, the car always resets to car default settings, and there's no chance for the car owner to change these default settings. I'll be getting my 2018 PHEV next week and will probably have some tech questions along the way. You are very welcome, Carl David, to ask any questions. Yes, and you are totally right. There is absolutely no way to change these default settings in the car, unfortunately. So starting in eco mode, turning this pedestrian warning signal off, starting the MMCS with a certain screen, this is all not possible. The car always resets to this default settings, unfortunately. And I'm not aware of any hack or any programming you can do with the car to overcome this problem. So if anyone knows something about how to start in eco mode and turn the pedestrian warning off by default, please let us know. Thank you, Carl David, for this great question, and good luck with your 2018 PHEV. Okay guys, I think I have answered all the questions now. I hope I have not forgotten anyone. So thank you very much to everyone who submitted questions. And I hope you enjoyed this first round of me answering your questions. Please leave all your further questions down in the description. I'll pick them up and put them on a list and will answer them in the next round. Okay guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. This is Andy from Unplugged EV Australia, signing off. You stay charged and we see us in the next video. Alright, bye bye.